Chapter 16, A Royal Labyrinth. Hours before Louise's debut to the Queen at the palace, you hurriedly rush out of the dining room for your next lesson. Your mother follows after you. Where are you off, Sophia? You gobbled your breakfast down like you hadn't eaten in a week. Sorry, Mama. I have to hurry if I'm to have a lesson today before Louise's court presentation. I must begin now. A lesson with Nate. Yes, with him. Tell the footman tutor me instead. I have a better idea. The cook should teach me how to properly prepare a tray of ham sandwiches. You furrow your brow and feign deep thought. Though that begs the question of why Lawrence is paying Nat, if not to tutor me. You may no longer be a child, Sophie, but I must insist you cease your liaison with that man. How many times must I reiterate? There is nothing. Do not think me a fool, Sophie. I've seen the way you look at each other, or should I mention your garden rendezvous? Your mother's gaze softens, and she places a beseeching hand on your arm. Tonight won't be like any other ball. All eligible ladies will be present themselves before our queen. Her approval or lack thereof can make or break a season. You saw what a mere unfounded rumor almost did to Louise's prospects, and she's not even married yet. If society hears her sister has taken a lover so soon after her marriage, a cold chill of dread steals up your spine as the implication that your happiness could ruin Louise's future. I should know better than to try and deceive the woman who birthed me. You're right about me and him, Mama. He's been more than a tutor for some time. But I promise to be discreet. I would not dare hurt Louise's prospects, but I will not end things with him. However, I will be more careful. No one will ever know of our liaison. Thank you. I hope you know that I only say this because I love you too, Sophie. You open your mouth to respond, but can't find the words. Instead, you gather your skirts and take your leave. Not long after, in the library, he reads from a tome of history, oblivious to the renewed sense of duty hanging over your head. Of all the princely houses of the Renaissance Italy, few were more powerful than the Borghi family. Your promise to your mother rings in your ears, drowning out his words. I must be strong. Now is not the time to give in to my desires. Why, anyone could walk in on us. Of course, Cesare Borgia's court was known to be of a den of vice and hedonism. Why, the rumors of his exploits are legendary. Let us not forget where that life of hedonism led him, naked and alone with an enemy's spear in his chest. My, have you been reading ahead, Sophie? Seeing him pleased with your knowledge stirs something within you, but you hold fast, searching for a subtle way to broach the subject. Perhaps some discretion might have served him a quieter life. I don't want the same fate to befall you. It's far too late for that, Duchess. You've already pierced my heart. He moves your hand to his broad chest, eyes locked with yours. Despite yourself, you find your fingers skimming along his muscles. I need you to hear me, Nathaniel. We cannot live like the Borgias. Our debauchery public. Our scandals known to all for all of history. If I remember correctly, we've already had a few hedonistic moments of our own in public. I think we should return to the lesson. Today is a busy day with the presentation and all. He raises his eyebrows in obvious disbelief, offering you a sensual smile. On the contrary, Duchess, I think this is a good lesson in memory. Take the soft fullness of your lips, for example. I remember the feel of them pressed against mine in Cecily's parlor. You inhale sharply, remembering the scandalous thrill of kissing him in front of the audience. His warm, wet tongue thrusting inside your mouth. In a way you ached for him to take you right there in front of everyone. How could I possibly be discreet around him? Even his slightest touch is enough to set my body on fire. Would it be the worst thing in the world if future generations read about these exploits of ours, as we've read of the Borgias? Imagine centuries from now, scholars poring over your every correspondence, theorizing what the great Duchess of Sussington may have had with her tutor. Why not leave some relics of our love behind? Don't you wish to give them a good story? Every part of you wants to give in to his seductive words and relive the memory, but your promise echoes in your mind. Not if the story has a tragic ending. I fear this won't end well for my family. Louise deserves a happy ending more than anyone I know. After the scare we just had, I cannot jeopardize her chance at a proposal. Duchess, I know. Your family comes first. You know that I know that. Then you must behave as such. At least for today. Just until Louise can secure a future. Very well, Duchess. Let us pivot to a lesson without any physical contact. My hands will stay at my sides. He flips through a book and gently slides it across the table. Italian poetry. Petrarch's sonnets are listed here as a very fine example of the period. Perhaps you could read the third sonnet aloud, Duchess. I fell a captive, lady, to the sway of your swift eyes. That seemed no time to stay the stroke of love. Beneath your tightly laced corset, your bosom heaves, rising, falling with each breath. He needn't to touch you to make your body scream for his, and he knows it. Love caught me naked to his shaft, his sheath, the entrance of his ambush and surprise. So very descriptive, no? Perhaps I should write a sonnet about you. What I've been thinking. Your body begins floating closer to his. You don't even feel your legs moving as he speaks. I could describe the silken smoothness of your skin, the lush swell of your breasts, the tips of the molten heat of your core dripping with desire. A fresh wave of longing floods your senses. You shift in your chair, rocking your hips forward in a futile attempt to find release. Surely no one will walk in on us here. But before you can give on in a moment, a cry of joy echoes from outside the window. Mama, the Queen will be utterly impressed with my curtsy. Don't you agree? Through the glass, your sister practices for today's presentation. The guilt prickles at the back of your neck. I should be out there helping Louise. Nate, I should go. Louise needs me. Her entire future depends on the next few hours. I hope you understand. Your sudden harshness draws a curtain of confusion over his eyes, but he swallows, nodding without protest. Of course, Sophie. Your family shall always come first. You join your mother and Louise in the gardens. Louise beams at your arrival, showing off her new gown. Pretty. Sister, look what the modesty brought. Why, I barely fall at all while practicing my curtsies. This is wonderful news, Dove. You shall be the envy of everyone else in the room. Not just the envy, I want the Queen to declare me the light of the season. Surely there will be a line of suitors waiting for you then, and perhaps a proposal. I hope so, but I will only dress up if you do it with me, sister. It's because of you, of your sacrifices, that I'm in this position. Your mother shoots you a meaningful look, and you force yourself to forget your own shattering heart. You give me too much credit. There's no time to ask the modesty to whip up a new creation. Nonsense. She brought a second presentation dress for you as well. You start to imagine his eyes alighting as you enter the room, then shake yourself back to the present. Today is for Louise. Please, Sophie, don't you want us both to shine in the Queen's eyes? Yeah, she's gonna shine alright. It's like a silver, reflectiveness. Kind of white and kind of silver. It's whew! How could I possibly deny my sister on her big day? We shall assuredly match today. Louise squeals in happiness, throwing her arms around you. This is why you're my favorite sister, Sophie. I'm your only sister. Yep. Now see, right there. We're on the same wavelength today. A few hours later, after you're finish dressing for Louise's presentation, you sweep downstairs to find him lingering nearby. Duchess, I thought you'd have left already. He all but stammers as his eyes drink you in. You can't tell if he's holding himself back to respect your wishes, or if he's paralyzed with the sight of you in the stress. You stay in place as well, but you'd be lying if you claimed you didn't gain satisfaction from the way his jaw tenses in your presence now. You look ever the vision, your grace. Thank you, Mr. Pippin. Hopefully the Queen will approve as well. He starts to approach, but hesitates, looking conflicted. His gaze drifts down your body and then back up to your eyes with some strain. I respect your need to keep a distance on a day like this, but I see you plan on making it as painful for me as possible by looking like that. I never want to, you in pain, Nate. It's alright, Duchess. If this is the last image I have of you for the rest of the day, you've given me a gift. Sophie, it's almost time. Louise sweeps down the stairs, your mother following close behind. She twirls to show off her dress to Nate as well. Are these not the most divine dresses you've ever seen? I was just saying that to your sister. You will certainly make an impression at court today. His eyes are still on you. After a moment, your mother hurries you and Louise towards the front door. Yes, well, we should be off. We cannot be late for Louise's debut. A short carriage ride later, you and Louise, your husband, and your mother have arrived at the royal palace. Of course he wants to tag along for this one, because he gets to be in the royal palace. So then he can tell all of his friends that are slimy and sleazy as well. Inside the drawing room, nerves abound as you mingle with other debutantes. Every Londoner of rank or of note is here. Lord above, I hope they like me. One mustn't be anxious when rubbing shoulders, daughter. I'm sure as a businessman the Duke has his own advice. I can't be bothered by such girlish jitters right now. I'm here strictly to gain business. Speaking of... Bedford, I was wondering when you'd shave me from the preening hens. The Duke smiles at Sir Somerville as he approaches and claps Lawrence on the shoulders. The Baronet looks you over with an interesting gaze. The sooner the Baronet's eyes are off me, the better. Oh, I've buttered up the merchants for us and their wives. All that's left for you is to close the deal. I knew this partnership would be beneficial for us, both, Somerville. Lawrence and the Baronet leave your family, not paying you any other thought. You breathe a sigh of relief to be out of the Baronet's gaze. So much for being of help. As you walk into the room, you hear audible gasps of envy at your beautiful coordinating gowns. Mother, you said I would stand out today. Pay no attention to the Valborns. They are only here to distract you. Lady Louise and the Duchess of Sussington look Florence! Did I say lovely? I mean awful, terribly dreadful in their gorgeous dresses. Listen to that, Dove. You have no reason to be nervous. And why do I still feel so ill? Your attention starts to wander as you notice two courtiers gossiping in the corner. You crane your ear, catching a few words. Don't get me started on this frost train. Why, it looks as though a common chicken died on her back. Oh, they may be the least of her problems. After all, have you heard about her mother? I wonder who they could be. As Louise's friend Evelyn joins your family, she catches your curious gaze across the room. So, you've seen Baron Montgomery and Countess Dunton, too. They're the Queen's greatest confidants. They... seem quite rude. I have no love for Amelia Frost, but that is no excuse for the gossip they're spreading. You glance at Amelia Frost among the debutantes. A long train drags behind her, decorating with hideous white feathers. Though perhaps she could have chosen a slightly less interesting train. Careful, Your Grace. Mother says the two are quite picky, but winning them over means a certain favor with the Queen. Really? Perhaps we should talk to them, sister? Then you should know Baron Montgomery views the Vicomte de Noisson as his rival, thanks to an incident involving his beloved pet parrot Arthur. I shudder to think what kind of incident involved the Vicomte and a parrot. Well, Even where you should avoid the subject, much like Lord Howard in front of the Countess. She has no patience for the man. Okay, so avoid Vicomte, Parrot, and Lord Howard. You thank Evelyn for her advice, then approach the two courtiers with Louise. How lovely to meet you. I was wondering when the Duchess of Sussington and her sister would seek us out. I didn't doubt it for a second. After all, they are the most fashionable women in the room. I do think the Queen will be impressed when she sees them soon. You flatter us, Countess. Baron Montgomery feeds the colorful parrot on his shoulder. Tell me, are you fond of animals? Very much so. I've heard your parrot is a favorite of the Queen. It's a pleasure to meet. No, shit. They gave us a name. I know I'm about to screw this up. I'll just go with Arthur, because... Arthur's here. He seems quite pleased to meet you as well. He adores a ball. We can certainly relate. We both love them as well. Did you see Lord Howard also brought his pet, Mr. Pepperpot? I'd wager the pug is the most spoiled dog in all England. We were just discussing Lord Howard not long ago. Oh, and what do you think of the gentleman? Lord Howard is... I'm gonna go with dreadfully exhausting. Just thinking of the gentleman makes me sleepy. The Countess smiles, nodding at Louise in approval. I cannot agree more. I declare he is one of the most tiring gentlemen I've ever met. Thank you, Evelyn. That was invaluable guidance. Listen, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, because there was Lord Arthur, and then I'm supposed to remember that Arthur is also the parrot, which I'm sorry if I skimmed over that and did not remember. All I remember was Vicomte, Parrot, and Lord Howard. Leave me alone. It's been an exhausting past few days for me, let me put it that way. Anyways, the Baron and I should attend to the Queen. I did love our little chat. Yes, it was very delightful. I foresee bright things for you today, Lady Louise. Bright things, perhaps we all have won their favor after all. Before long, you and Louise wait your turn to present to the Queen. Your heart swells with pride at the flourishing young woman your sister has become. This is your moment to shine, Louise. I'm so proud of you. I wish Father could be here to witness it. Father is here with us in spirit. I'm certain he's looking down on us, beaming with happiness at everything you've accomplished. You don't know how much that means for me to hear, Sophie. You both straighten as the herald motions you for. Louise's big moment is finally here. Introducing the beautiful Lady Louise Valborn, younger sister of the illustrious Duchess of Sussington and a most charming addition to society. Amelia looks visibly put out as Louise's glowing introduction. It's not fair, Mama. My announcement was not nearly so good. It appears Louise's gown worked its charm after all. You approach the Queen alongside Louise. The Queen gives your sister a fond look as she curtsies low in front of her. Ah, Lady Louise, we are very pleased to see you again. Tell me, do you think you deserve to be the light of the season? The decision is entirely yours, Your Majesty, but I'm sure there are many young ladies more deserving of the title. Take Miss Worth, for example. She is thoughtful and beautiful and ever so kind to her friends. The Queen's smile widens, obviously pleased by Louise's answer. Thank you, Lady Louise. You are an absolute gem as always. That is precisely the why you deserve to be the light. Louise gasps in shock, looking utterly flabbergasted by the Queen's proclamation. Good gracious, sister. Am I dreaming? The light is meant to shine on others and have others shine in return. That's how I'm looking at it. I assure you, Louise, we are both wide awake. Amelia stomps her foot in childish pique of anger to the sign. Her feathered train quivers with her indignation. Why? It is utterly unfair. Everyone knows that I deserve to be the light. And that's why you don't, because you seem to be a void of light. The Queen gives Amelia a severe look, peering down her nose at Louise's arrival. It is the sort of behavior that proves you are distinctly not top drawer, Lady Amelia. The Queen turns her attention back to you and Louise. Now, as the brightest family, please join me in a special celebration in the Royal Gardens. We would be honored, Your Highness. Soon you and Louise head to the Royal Gardens together, where all of society is aglow with your sister's success. Well done, Lady Louise. Why, you've shown them all. Thank you, Lady Adeline. I still feel as though I am dreaming. Oh, just think of some more of the vulgar members of society thought to question your worth earlier in the season. Largely in thanks to you and your gossip. As you turn to look behind you, Louise's face suddenly floods with joy. Good day, Duchess. Lady Louise, or should I say, good day, Lady Light. You are much too kind, Prince Maxwell. The prince wrings his hands, looking equally flustered and delighted. I was wondering if you might want to take a walk with me, that is. Could this be a proposal? What my sister means to say is yes. That's correct. A walk would be ever so wonderful. As Lady Saunders temporarily commandeers the prince's attention, Louise turns eagerly to you. What do you think of the prince's invitation means, Esther? This cannot be only a walk, can it? Who cares? I think a proposal is imminent. He would not draw you aside so purposefully if he didn't have something important to tell you, or more likely to ask you. I think you may be right. He is going to propose to me. I can feel it in my soul. If you could, then why are you asking me? The princess concludes his conversation, then offers Louise his arm. She smiles and hurries excitedly off with him. Good luck, Louise. On you return, I suspect I will have soon a brother-in-law. With Louise off and your mother engaged in conversation with society's leading matrons, everything seems to be right in the world. You head to the nearest refreshment table. As you reach for a particularly delicate cake, a familiar voice whispers in your ear. Are you sure that will satiate your appetite? His unexpected presence brings a smitten grin to your face and a flutter to your stomach, which you promptly suppress as you feel prying eyes turn to you and him in interest. How are you here? With ease. The difficult part was actually finding you in this labyrinth palace. Why the Queen needs a hedge maze is beyond me. His eyes drink in your figure, an obvious appreciation of your magnificent new gown, or perhaps your body underneath. Not that you're difficult to spot when you look like that. I'm sure it's hard to navigate a palace when you weren't invited. Ooh. Ouch. Let's just say I made friends with the Queen's courtiers over a game of high-stakes poker. They are both terrible cheats, by the way. Still, when I mentioned my good friend the Duchess of Sussington would be here today, they were only too eager to have me. You're telling me you went to all that trouble just to eat the Queen's cake? Listen, I am not touching that pun with a 100-foot pole. I came to do far more than that, Duchess. I've come to celebrate you. It takes all you have to fight his pull to keep your composure. I'm not the one who is about to be engaged. You're the one who sacrificed everything to make this possible. I've heard the Queen's garden maze is truly a sight to behold. Care to judge for ourselves? His lips curl into a smile that sparks the memory of his mouth on yours, making you desperate for another forbidden taste. Are you certain you would not get lost in such a maze? You said you barely found me in the Queen's palace. I'm not sure you'd find your way through her labyrinth. So if I were to walk away right now and disappear into the Queen's labyrinth, you'd find me, or would I be lost forever? The invitation in his words is unmistakable. Your breath quickens with longing, a wave of desire washing over you like a tidal wave. I always seem to find you, Nate Pippins, whether I chase you or not. Then catch me if you can. Oh, this isn't going to be a diamond choice. Great. With a mischievous grin, he turns and walks away, vanishing behind the entrance of the Queen's Hedge maze. Could I really follow him even here? The scene around you sets you at ease. Louise has gleefully accepted a proposal to the prince. Your mother is socializing with a smile. They look almost as happy as they did before father's passing. Your family found not only safety, but peace, happiness. Now you feel permission to go after yours. With their attention occupied, you follow him into the maze. You've barely made it inside the labyrinth when he pulls you close for a kiss, his lips soft and sure. He kisses you with barely restrained greed, pressing his body close to yours for a long moment before reluctantly pulling away. You found me. His fingers skim lightly down your arm, making you shiver with anticipation. Every nerve ending in your body comes alive at his touch. Did you have any doubt, or did you truly fear I'd allow you to get lost here? I've been lost in you since the moment we met. Trouble is, I never wished to be found. Your body floods with a sudden aching need. You can't help imagining his fingers drifting lower between your legs. Shall we see what we can find deep in this maze? Listen, for once, I'm gonna go with... No. Listen, you're putting your family at risk. Sorry, not sorry. We can't risk it. I'm sure my mother will be looking for me soon. Perhaps, but she won't miss you for just a few more minutes. His mouth captures yours for one last passionate kiss. You give in to it, your body melding against him until... Sophie! Oh, sweet Jesus Christ. You stare at your husband in horror, blood draining from your face as you and Nate guiltily spring apart. No, this can't be. He can't have caught us. Good God, man. Is it your wife and her tutor? Under Baronet's expectant gaze, Ward's face darkens with rage. How dare you betray me, woman? I took you in, supported your family, even allowed you to read, and this is how you repaid me. Your Grace, I am the one at fault. Hush! Because of this betrayal, you both will pay. What a surprise. I even refuse the diamond choice. I don't know what to tell you. It's Pixelberry. The illusion of choice is just that, the illusion. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Well, let me know what you guys think, pretty much, if you did enjoy the content. Or at least the voices and, whatnot that I do. Please remember to drop a like. Make sure to, hit the share. Leave a comment telling me what you think will happen, or who, what, when, where, and why. Otherwise, this is what I think will happen. Really, we're not at fault here. I think he'll fall on a sword, being the gentleman he is. And something about, him and Mina's thing will come out. Because remember, we've had that in our back pocket for a while now. But no, this does hurt your sister. I'm a person who always focuses on my family. And, yeah, no, this was a no-go. No-go. I get it, we were unhappy with her husband. I get it, but... at the same time, back then things were a lot more complicated, and people don't understand that. I do have to say that. People even now, to this day, do not understand things 40 years ago. So to look back at things hundreds of years ago, is a completely different beast in and of itself. So we can only judge the past and how society was and everything else looking now, given the opportunities that we have for change and what's happened since then, right? Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Without further ado, I do apologize that I was a little late on this. I've been going through a few things, not feeling all too well. I just had a pretty big medical thing yesterday. So that's one of the reasons why I'm only getting this out today, which is Tuesday. So I do apologize about that. But I always, you guys know, for about 7 years now we've been doing choices. And I always try and get that stuff out ASAP. So, yep. Catch y'all later. Peace out.